Hey, so I moved into this place thinking this place is a godsend, right? I did not know the devil was the doorman. It's finding out my heater doesn't work up to par during a freeze is not cool. Woke up, it's 62 degrees in the house. I can't do that. Although it's probably good because I keep going up and down with being sick. And it's crazy because my neighbors are like, mine's set on 74. It's staying 74. I had mine on 72. It was 69. Temperatures dropped. It gradually got lower and lower. Yay. So, made me start thinking about how everything happens in my life. I figure it out during the not so convenient time, right? It's just like I looked outside earlier and I was like, oh, it looks better out there. It's deceiving. I'll tell you a quick story. We were going to get a camper one time, gonna remodel it, and had all these designs in my head. So we had bought this, I want to say it was a Suburban at that time, old Suburban. And it was funny because we had just bought a Prius, got in a car accident, and it got totaled out. So we went from being green and moving forward in life to a gas-guzzling machine. My mom was like, that's ironic. And I'm like, money is the thing that chooses. So anyways, we go from New Mexico to, I want to say, Colorado. And we test everything on this Suburban to make sure that it's capable to be driven and pull a trailer. Awesome. We go grab this trailer. We're on the side of a mountain, winding around the mountain. And then all of a sudden this blizzard blows in. Turn the windshield wipers on. Windshield wipers don't work. What? The windshield wipers don't work? How the hell did the windshield wiper? We checked everything. Well, we were in the desert. We never checked for rain. We didn't think of snow. Oh no! So anyways, we're driving and we end up at what was like the Bates Motel. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. This place was scary. It was the only place in town that you could actually rent a room in. So anyways, furnace is in the floor at this place. Old 1950s probably. So, blizzard outside, turn the furnace on, the thing catches on fire, smokes out the whole room, have to open the door, fan all the smoke out, close it, turn it back on because it's freezing. This cycle goes on basically all night long. And learned a lesson. Check it first. Well, when I moved here, there was no need to really check the heater. We were actually still kind of running the AC. Now, I'm learning the heater is not up to par. So, point in all those little stories is somebody had made a comment that I had made a video and they were like, I needed to hear this. I needed the clarity about certain people in my life. And my response to them was, if you ever have to ask if you are the bad person, the narcissist, the manipulator, the user, the abuser, you're not. Because they don't ever ask themselves this question. They're more entitled and I get what I want. Do what I want. So just understand that if you're in situations with people, because my biggest regret was teaching the one I was with the terminology I was learning, because he started using it against me. I would tell him, you're gaslighting me right now. And I'd be like, am I? But he didn't know the word before I taught it to him. Told him he was a narcissist, and I was new to learning about the situation. So it was almost like I educated the manipulator to manipulate me into believing I was the manipulator. Funny little game. Took a long time, even after I left him, for me to go, it wasn't ever me. I was the victim. I no longer see myself as the victim. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. She won't leave me alone. She won't leave me alone. So as I'm teaching him how to hurt me using my own learnings to get out, it made life very complicated. So I will tell you, if you're learning who people are around you, don't call them out. Slowly make a plan to get out. And the trick is, you can't let them know that you know who they are or what you're doing. It's very calculated when you have to play a mind game with a psychopath, a sociopath, a narcissist, an abuser. But it's very important that you, like I said, don't let them know you know who they are. And you want so badly to put them in their place, but I'll let you know, you can never put someone who has a wicked heart in their place. The devil almost laughs at you. Like I said, I walked into this place thinking it's a godsend, and I didn't know the devil was the doorman. So keep your head up. Keep your heart pure. Keep your courage intact. Keep your mind clear. You'll just begin to see little things they do. I learned to speak in my head. Anything used to pass these lips. I'm saying anything. Thems was fighting words and I was ready to go, y'all. Did not care. So you have to learn to control yourself. That's the hardest part about dealing with somebody who has no empathy, no sympathy, no remorse, no regret. They're okay being who they are. And sadly, when they're done draining you, they'll discard you and they'll move on to the next target. And a lot of times they already have that target before they ever even discard you. It's sad because they will work to drain you and tell you that they love you. And I think that it's happened so many times that people don't trust love anymore. But let me tell you, you have not felt true, genuine, authentic love unless you can remember your great-grandparents. My grandparents were older, so they were like great-grandparents in age. They came from a different time. They came from a time when you would help your brothers and sisters. And when I say brothers and sisters, I'm not talking blood. I'm talking your neighbors. I'm talking about the people around you that you were spending your life with. If you saw someone broke down on the road, even a complete stranger, but they were a part of your town or just passing through, that was a brother and sister. Because there was a bond, a unity among the human race at some point that we all mattered. Then at some point, someone didn't get taught those teachings and they raised their kids a certain way. And they kept creating more and more copies of themselves. It's like the movie Idiocracy, where the intelligent ones kept thinking about, well, we're not financially prepared. We're not ready to have that in our life just yet. We're not where we want to be. And then the ones that were not so intelligent, their IQs weren't so high, they were making babies left and right. And it's funny because the time I saw that movie, I was like, I'm so glad we're not at that point in life. And I looked around and I was like, holy guacamole, we're at that point in life. No. And I started seeing it more and more. Shoot, I see it even more now. Like when I go to the store, kids running wild like they're on the prairie. And I'm over here going, that one belonged to you? Like they're over there tearing that up. Things that people that work in those facilities have to go back and fix. But people are so busy just shopping and reading the contents of the bottle, but you don't go home and read a book to your kids. It doesn't make sense. I've gotten to the point, or I used to say, make it make sense. And now I'm just like, oh, okay. There is no sense. When we live in a dystopian society, nothing's supposed to make sense. And before I got in my accident, which is 3.5 years ago, there was so many things going through my head. This was shortly after I had left their dad. And I couldn't figure out if I was right or wrong in the matter. Should I have stayed? Was I doing worse by taking them away or leaving the situation and not leaving them? Was I going to destroy my children by not staying with an abuser and keep fighting him? You know, I felt a lot of guilt at that time. And then I got in this accident. Was on the freeway driving, going the speed limit, had a blowout, flipped 7 times, landed upside down backwards on the feeder, the side road of the freeway. Almost in the bushes. Had I flipped one more time, I would have been in a ditch upside down where there was a river or a stream. But when I came to from the situation, my whole world was literally upside down. I went to unbuckle and I was like, something's weird. I couldn't get out. And I just put my hand up. And it was really not far from my head. And I had to lift myself up to get myself out. And luckily I do yoga. And I had to acrobat out and crawl out of this window of broken glass. And I had lost a shoe. I had lost my cell phone. And everything I owned was in that vehicle. Except for my children and my dog. And it took me a long time to accept the fact that I should have been dead. Everyone was telling me, including the paramedics, because I refused to go to the hospital. I was walking. I was fine. I was talking. I was coherent. And I thought everything was okay. And here I am 3.5 years later, still trying to piece it all back together. And I remember the paramedic telling me, if you refuse to go, there could be something wrong within you that's not physical. Nothing herniated, nothing broken, you know. But it could be more of an energetic thing. And I'm thinking, how can they help me at the hospital with that? And this was when COVID was like big. Just starting. Everyone's wearing masks. And I remember him pulling his mask down and smiling this smile at me where I was like, all of a sudden I realized he was like a guardian angel. He was a guide. It happened May 1st. And I even looked at him and said, is today May 1st? And he said, yeah. And I said, what a serendipitous day. And he looked at me and kind of smiled and winked. And then he disappeared. But after that event, everything made me go, is it up? Is it down? Is it frontwards? Is it backwards? It was almost like being in Wonderland, trying to make sense of the senseless, you know? So if you're in a point in your life where someone is manipulating you, you will over time begin to feel like you're going insane. That's the whole point of the game. They get pleasure out of your confusion. They get satisfaction out of you shrinking down and saying they're right. They love that you're vulnerable and you accept that they're not. They love that you will tell them they love you after they beat you up and bring you flowers or some insignificant trinket that's going to die away. Try your best to get out. Don't find yourself questioning yourself. Is it me? Is it them? What is this how the game is? This a game? Like, is this love? Like I read the other day, it was I think Bruce Lee said it. Don't ever feel like you're trapped in a room with your haters. Look at it as they're trapped in a room with you. So understand you have just as much control of the game that's being played. Now that you're learning that it's a game, hopefully you're getting the tools to make the proper chess moves while they play checkers with you. Because when you learn what they're doing, you can level up and become a lot more calculated. And it doesn't mean that you're bad. It means that you're a survivalist. And once you get past being a victim, you become a survivor. Once you're past being a survivor, you can become a humanitarian. You can become someone who puts yourself out there, not in a threatening way, to help people understand there's power within them. So I know I did a lot of rambling and a lot of sharing stories. I seem to do that, but like I said, my gift seems to be the storyteller. So on that note, I've got to finish getting ready to leave and head down the highway to go have one more night before I get to see my son. So sending everybody peace, love, space hugs, and talk to you probably very soon. Bye-bye.